I'll wait to see your golden smile.
Welcome back to our incredibly informative, professionally made sailing movies, cut and glued together by yours truly. Today we're leaving our anchorage in Vari, which is about a 31-minute drive or a 2 to 6 hour sail south of Athens. The plan is to dock a few days in the Alimos Marina, which their website claims is the largest marina not only in Greece, but in the Balkans. We will do a quick visit of Athens and then head off to the Corinth Canal. We're leaving our anchorage in about an hour south of Athens, and we are headed up into Athens now. It's very early in the morning. We left extra early because the winds are gonna pick up a lot today. Well, that looks like a fun toy. We got the dinghy in the back, the helicopter up top. The orange and white at the top is like a cigarette boat, or whatever those are called. Donovan got the name of it, and it's like TODOR or something like that. I don't know. But he Googled it, and it's some UFC champion. I don't know. I don't know anything about UFC. The boat itself is pretty hideous, but it's got a lot of nice toys on it. Her name is Hodor, and she is the support vessel for an 87-meter yacht called Lonian. Both are owned by Lorenzo Fertitta, an American billionaire businessman and former CEO of the UFC, or the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He appointed his childhood friend Dana White as president of the UFC. Hodor is 66 meters long, or 217 feet. She was built in 2019 on a catamaran hull. She has a crew of 20 in 10 cabins. She carries a fleet of 5 tenders, of which the largest one is 17 meters, which is pretty crazy to me considering Oka is 13 meters. She also has a fully certified helipad. Obviously, she has other toys like jet skis, quad motor vehicles, diving equipment. She has a fully functional hospital with a decompression chamber. Not too shabby considering this is just the support vessel. Huh? That's just to carry the toys. It's the support. So that's just the support boat. $30 million support boat. So what does the actual owner's boat look like? Oh, it's almost the same size as the support boat. $30 million support boat. Alrighty. You can already see as soon as we turn this corner, the water gets choppy. You can see the white capping. It's gonna be a really bumpy ride north because we got northerlies, so we're gonna have the wind right on the nose. This one's called the Lonian, L-O-N-I-A-N, and it's worth $230 million. So $230 million yacht has a $30 million support. I feel like we're starting to catch on to this whole stern tying and a marina thing. Our berth in this marina is situated in a pretty wide fairway, so we got very lucky because the winds are really strong and there's no telling how Oka will react to my less than stellar skills at the helm. Since the strong wind is coming from our port side towards our starboard side, it is pushing Oka over towards the docked boats on our right. To avoid hitting them, I am positioning Oka as far left or to port as possible as we travel down the fairway. This is why Oka's nose is pointing a bit to port. We are going to back into our spot and we will be held in place by 2 lines on our stern and 2 lines on our bow. Depending on the wind and the swell, we sometimes add more lines to keep Oka from swinging and bouncing around too much. We will not be using our anchor in this marina. The 2 lines at the bow belong to the marina. They're already attached to a very heavy piece of concrete on the sea floor. The marinero in the dinghy hands one to Donovan to tie on our port forward cleat. These lines are always submerged in the water, so they're usually pretty slimy, which is why they're sometimes referred to as slime lines. Thankfully, the marineros are there to rescue us if things go south. Getting into our spot didn't take very long, but adjusting all our lines took some time because we landed exactly in the worst spot possible for our passerelle to be able to lie down flat on the pontoon in a spot without any obstructions. But after about 45 minutes, we were all set and ready to have a cold and delicious beverage. The 2 lines at the stern are ours, and Donovan will be throwing them to the marinero on the pontoon to tie us up. These are called stern lines. As I reverse into our spot, Donovan pulls on the slime line to tighten it up. The marinero gave him the port forward slime line first because the wind was pushing us towards the right a little. By tying up the port side line first, it keeps Oka from being blown into the empty spot on our starboard side where our buddy boat is going to be coming into in a few minutes. We're too far to starboard going into that empty slot next to us, so Donovan ran to the back of the boat to pull on the port stern line to tighten it. With both the port slime line and the stern line tight, we avoid moving further to starboard. Oka is being held in place. In the meantime, the marinero in the dinghy ties the starboard slime line to our cleat, which Donovan is going to eventually tighten.
You want me to pull it? I can't pull it anymore. I can't pull. He said pull it 2 meters or let it out 2 meters. 1 meter pull?
Yes.
It ain't moving. I mean, you can come pull on it and see if it'll come up.
It's okay, take. Secure. Okay.
I know he wants us to go over that way. I can't get it to go anymore.
Okay, so I'm going to go backwards.
Well, this is what's holding it.
When I get home to you, I just wanna hold you and love you when you calling my name. Here I
3.8. No anchor because we are in a marina. So we've got bow lines, slide lines, and we've got stern lines. And once again, as usual, we can't use our passerelle. Now that both lines on our port side are as tight as possible, Oka is fully in her spot and the passerelle can now lie down fully on the pontoon. Now we need to tighten the starboard slime line. With 4 lines as tight as we can get them at this point, I'll put both engines on forward to pull Oka as far from the pontoon as I can, giving Donovan a few centimeters extra to tighten both slime lines. And then I'm going to do the same thing but in reverse, so as to stretch the slime lines as much as possible, so now Donovan can tighten both of the stern lines. There's no exact science to this. Well, okay, who knows? There probably is. But aboard Oka, exact science just does not exist. We futz around with the lines as long as it takes for the captain to be satisfied with how Oka is lying in her final position. I typically don't care if we're a little crooked as long as we're holding tight and not hitting any other boats. That's just how our marriage rolls. Our first Mexican restaurant since we left the United States in September. Not very Mexican. We've got little pictures of ladies from Spain. But here's the thing. We got chips and salsa or chips and guac, and they brought us Doritos. And the first thing I asked the lady when we arrived was, ¿Hablas español? Like, is it authentic food? And she's like, I don't speak Spanish. So, anyway, our first Greek Tex-Mex / Spanish. Because they have paella in the menu. So, anyway, welcome to Athens.
Un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo.
Monastiraki area of Athens. We're on our way to the Plaka neighborhood, and you can already see the Acropolis right there. Plaka neighborhood in Athens. Plaka's nickname is the neighborhood of the gods because it is built on top of the ancient city of Athens just below the Acropolis, surrounded by beautiful monuments that light up the night sky. It has over 3,000 years of history. This is probably the most visited neighborhood in the city, where you will find cobblestone alleyways, archaeological sites, tons of shops selling various beautiful items, and a huge selection of delicious restaurants. Plaka used to be the Turkish district of the city back when the Turkish governor lived there during the Ottoman occupation. During the Greek War of Independence, much of it was destroyed and many of its residents fled. At the beginning of the 19th century, Athens became the capital and began to once again grow. A huge fire then caused severe damage to the area in 1884, which was of course awful, but it also gave archaeologists a chance to find many of the historical sites that were buried under the city and that we get to enjoy exploring today. We're looking for a place to have dinner on Misikleos Street, or Dos Misikleos, which has a pedestrian stairway filled with colorful plants, flowers, and outdoor seating.
Yeah, it was this one, yeah? Yeah. Okay, do you want to have a look?
We're sitting here at this rooftop bar, and Roman just pointed out the wildfires. Greece was severely affected by wildfires in July and August 2023 while we were there. Extreme heat, dry weather, intense winds, and arson exacerbated the wildfires, sparking new blazes all over, including the Athens area, the islands of Rhodes, Corfu, and really way far and beyond. We have our own wildfires here in Greece.
Now, give me a word. Any word, and I show you how the root of that word is Greek.
The Greek word Acropolis is derived from akros, meaning highest or topmost, and polis, meaning city. Words that have been derived from or influenced by Acropolis include polis, a common root in words related to city and states like metropolis and cosmopolis; acro, a common prefix meaning high or extreme, found in words like acrobat or acrophobia.
There you go.
The Acropolis of Athens is super recognizable. If you haven't seen it in pictures or movies, well then you've been living under a rock. Which is interesting since the Acropolis is actually built on top of an outcrop of rocks. So who knows, maybe you've been living under the Acropolis?
We just came out of the metro. The wildfires, I guess, are messing with the electricity in the town. The electricity in our hotel kept coming on and off and on and off. So we just went up a million stairs at the metro. And I can't breathe, but we're here.
Perched on the slopes of the Athens Acropolis, the Odeon of Herodes Atticus is where ancient vibes meet epic acoustics. Built in the 2nd century AD by a wealthy Roman, this stone amphitheater still hosts concerts under the stars, because even ruins deserve an encore. Imagine the echoes of history as you take in this jaw-dropping venue. Not bad for a 1900-year-old gig spot, right? If you want to see the schedule of events there, I've added a link to their website in the description below this video. So climbing up to the Acropolis in late August, bold move. It was hot. Athens in a heat wave kind of hot. But thankfully the wind decided to show up just enough to keep us from actually passing out. Still, by the time we got up there, I was questioning my life choices and my cardio fitness. This was in August 2023 and wildfires were burning all across Greece. Even from up here you could see the smoke hovering over Athens. It was a surreal contrast, standing in a place that has survived thousands of years while seeing destruction all in real time. First up, the superstar, the Parthenon. Built for Athena, the city's namesake and all-around goddess of wisdom and war. It's been standing here since the 5th century BC, which is honestly longer than some of my houseplants have lasted. It's massive, iconic, and judging by the scaffolding, constantly in need of a little maintenance. Back in the 1800s, though, it wasn't nearly as impressive. When archaeologists began excavating, they found it half buried in rubble, with entire sections missing or blown apart from an explosion in 1687. Over time, restorations have helped bring it closer to its former glory, but the battle to keep it standing continues.
This wildfire smoke is just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, it's covering the city. This is the same wildfire that we saw from last night from the restaurant, because the restaurant where we ate last night is right under this wall.
Next, this is Erechtheion. This one's famous for its karatidi, those super fancy lady columns holding up the porch like absolute queens. Fun fact, the real karatidi are in a museum, so these are replicas, but still, they totally understood the assignment. When archaeologists started digging here, they uncovered layers of destruction with pieces of the temple scattered everywhere. The Erechtheion has been used for different purposes over the centuries, even as a church and a palace during Byzantine times. Imagine being an archaeologist, brushing away centuries of dust to reveal this masterpiece underneath. Over here, we've got the temple of Athena Nike. Small but mighty, dedicated to victory. And let me tell you, after that climb, I felt like I deserved a temple dedicated to my own survival. This temple was actually completely dismantled in the 17th century by the Ottomans, who needed the stones for fortifications. When archaeologists began their work in the 19th century, they painstakingly reconstructed it piece by piece. Talk about the ultimate jigsaw puzzle. As expected, it was packed, but despite the crowds, we managed to explore the whole site in just about 3 hours. Not bad for a bunch of old folks.
We could not have asked for a more perfect day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We bought our tickets online last night, last minute. Came in about an hour ago. It's super windy, so it's not hot. We brought water with us. You're only allowed to bring water in with you. And it is crowded, but you can still breathe. It's not like Ephesus, where it was like literally packed like sardines. So this is really, really nice. There's the restaurant where we ate last night.
And with that, we made our way down, sweaty but victorious, kind of like Athena herself, but with fewer battle strategies and more water breaks. If you ever get a chance to visit, do it. Just maybe not in August. And there it is, the Acropolis in all its ancient glory. What a journey it's been this past year, sailing through the Aegean Sea and the Argolic and Saronic Gulfs. But we're not done yet. In our next episode, we're taking on something truly epic, crossing the legendary Corinth Canal. This narrow man-made marvel slices through the Greek mainland, connecting the Aegean and the Ionian seas, saving sailors like us a whopping 430 nautical miles around the Peloponnese. It's only 70 feet wide, with rock walls towering over 200 feet, making it one of the most breathtaking passages in the world. And yes, it is as thrilling as it looks. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when our next episode comes out. If you enjoyed this episode, please click on the like button so I can feel better about myself. Thanks for sticking around, and see y'all later!